Welcome to the quarantine vlog. I don't know why I think that's so funny. Welcome once again to the SR4U boot room. I hope everybody watching this is doing well. Obviously the current global situation is not ideal, but it is what it is at this point. I think we're all going to get past it. Hopefully relatively soon, but who really knows at this point. Anyways, I figured I'd take this opportunity to update you guys on what is not just happening with me and this channel, but also what's happening in the world of football boots, because you may have noticed that over the last maybe month or so, nothing new has really come out. And that's not because there haven't been any boots to release. Here's a little bit of inside information for you. There were supposed to be new boots coming out basically 2 weeks ago, but all of those releases have since been delayed basically until further notice. And the reason for this is because none of the big brands want to put out boots, and none of the retailers certainly want to have new product when there's pretty much nobody playing sports at the moment, which means that there's very few people that are actively looking to buy brand new football boots or new sports related gear in general. Pretty much the only footwear releases that haven't been delayed, and some still have, is like sneakers and running shoes based on what I've seen, and that's because people still want this kind of stuff and can still use it while in quarantine. Speaking of running, as you can see, my treadmill is being used quite frequently as a shelf. So what does this mean for the channel? Well, if there's not a lot of new boots coming out, obviously I'm not going to be reviewing any new boots. We'll see what happens though, because I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks, a lot of these delayed releases will eventually have to come out. They can only delay them for so long. And then as far as getting product is concerned, obviously shipping has slowed down a little bit. It hasn't halted entirely, but I should be able to get this stuff once it does become available. So stay tuned to the channel for reviews and videos on all the new releases as normal. With that said, and this is where you guys have a bit of a say, what type of content would you like to see on the channel basically over the next month or so? I have a bunch of ideas of my own. What I would really like to get into doing again is retro boot reviews. It's something that was a big part of my channel probably within the first 3 or 4 years. If you go back on YouTube and search pretty much any older boot that came out maybe within the last 15 years, I probably have a video of it on YouTube. However, those older videos haven't aged all that well, and honestly something that I really like about football boots is not just the latest tech, but also kind of the history of football boots and how they've evolved and changed so much over the years. That to me is really, really interesting. So if you guys would like to see some retro boot reviews on the channel, that's definitely something that I can make happen. But if there's anything specific that you'd like to see, let me know what that is down below in the comments. Another idea that I had was to do some videos on at-home workouts. A lot of you guys who follow me on Instagram, SR4U_Josh, for those that don't know, in my Instagram stories basically over the last 2 weeks, I've been posting some of the at-home workouts that I've been doing with minimal equipment, pretty much a dumbbell and the floor, sometimes no equipment whatsoever. Floor is not equipment. Anyways, I'm not exactly a fitness expert, but it's something that I really enjoy doing. I have to say more so at a gym than actually at home. But if that's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know, because I can definitely make that happen on the channel, just to do something a little bit different. Oh, it's so hard. Also, a lot of you guys have been asking for updates on the football boot project that I'm working on. Unfortunately, this situation has definitely delayed that project. So at this point in time, I don't really have any new information that I can share with you, but just know that the project has not been derailed. This is something that is still in the works behind the scenes. And as soon as I have something new to share with you, I will definitely share it. I like how I'm just walking back and forth in my own basement. What I can tell you though, and nobody knows about this yet, is I have been working on a new project that if everything goes according to plan, you guys will be able to get your hands on within the next 2 to 3 months. Very excited about it. I think you guys will be as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Ugh. Also, car problems. For those that don't know, and I have shouted it out on this channel a couple times already, I started a new channel that is car-related content. So if you have any interest in that kind of thing, be sure to check it out. There'll be a little pop-up on screen. Check out a couple videos, and if you enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe. The support on that channel thus far has been really amazing, and it's been a very fun side project for me to work on. So for everybody that has come from this channel and subscribed to the car problems, thank you so much for your support. And like I said, go check it out. You might like it, or you might hate it. So with all of that out of the way, let me give you guys a quick tour of the SR4U boot room in its current state, which, as you'll see, is not particularly organized, but it's on its way. So if we start right here, that is the door to my office, where if we look inside really quickly, it's still not very organized. So we'll just leave it at that because there's really not anything interesting happening in there. There's the stairs to get into the basement. There's a bathroom for anybody that cares. And then this kind of just remains in this spot. That's probably not going to change. This is just kind of a rack with some of the sneakers that I wear most often, although some of these haven't moved off this rack for several months. So it's kind of just a spot where a bunch of sneakers sit. And then I have these two shelves right here, which I'm kind of trying to decide what I want to put in this space, because these are shelves that I did not have here before, but I think it's a good idea to put them there. In these bins, there's a whole bunch of just miscellaneous items that kind of got thrown in here from the poo flood situation. They were kind of just loose boots that I wanted to save. I had these bins, so I threw them in the bins, and as you can see, there's really no order to any of this. It's just totally random, but kind of cool to sort through. And again, I have to kind of pick out all of these boots and actually put them in the right box, which, as you can see, there are boxes absolutely everywhere. So all of these boxes have to get put away. There's boxes stacked on those shelves as well. Behind these boxes, there's actually shelves. You can see them right there. But there's shelves lining pretty much all of the walls here in my basement. And I did make it through a big chunk. Basically, this whole open section that I'm about to walk through, that was all Puma boots. And now those have been moved over here. This is what I have officially made the Puma section. This is probably the largest chunk of progress that I've made thus far. The issue that I'm having is putting everything away in such a way where it makes sense. So when I actually need to go and find something, it's not going to take me 2 hours to sort through everything to actually find it. The difficulty is that when all of this stuff got moved upstairs to get away from the poo flood situation and then moved back down, it basically all got mixed up. So none of these boxes are in any particular order. So it's basically a matter of one at a time, figuring out what's in the box and then putting it in a section where it actually makes sense. But because there's so many of them, as you start putting stuff away, you kind of don't account for enough space to have in certain sections, and it just becomes a bit of a struggle. So you can see here, I have kind of a bunch of older Nike boots is kind of how I have this classified right now. And this is kind of how it was organized before the poo flood situation. So we'll see what comes of this particular section. And then moving to this back area, I have kind of my Xbox, PlayStation racing simulator thing. This little table that I kind of just have here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it. And then these are pretty much just all sneakers for the moment. I'm not sure if it's going to stay like that, but I have made some progress there in terms of moving boxes out of the way. And then again, it's just more sneakers and just miscellaneous items. Obviously some workout equipment kind of thrown in the middle, which is cool to see. And that's pretty much the tour of the basement. I am out of breath. A lot of you guys have also been asking for me to do a time-lapse video of me organizing the SR4U boot room. Unfortunately, that's not possible for a couple different reasons. One, just the size of the basement. It's just not one big open space, so I can't really capture everything in one angle. Also, there are so many boxes to put away. I have already spent probably a good 8 hours organizing this, and I've probably only finished maybe 20% of what's here, if that. Believe it or not, there's actually more boxes that need to be brought down from upstairs. So there's still a lot to go through. I'm anticipating this taking me probably another 2 to 3 weeks, but we'll see what happens with that. Either way, probably won't be a time lapse, but I definitely will show you guys the final result once everything is organized. With all of that said, this was my update vlog for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, feel free to leave your suggestions for what you'd like to see as far as content is concerned down below in the comments. If you have any questions for me as well regarding this particular situation or anything in the football boot world, feel free to ask that down below and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.